What's going on, you guys? Petplatypus here, and it's time to review Toriko chapter 364. So this was an overall pretty damn good chapter of Toriko. We had a major death in there, possibly a major death. I'll get into that in a little bit. More just power feats from fucking Neo and how ridiculous he is. A little bit of Nitro stuff. Finally, JIRO is doing something, even if it's only for a page, but finally. And, I mean, God, how long has JIRO been built up now? Like, since before the another arc ended, I'm pretty sure. Like, before the big flashback. So, yeah, that's been long overdue. So, what ends up happening in this chapter is what he had in his hand was a star. And he said it's the greatest disaster, and I think that's pretty much what his powers are. He creates giant whirlwinds, meteor storms. The spikes are a little weird, but like it seems like he can create disasters, and a supernova is a great disaster. I don't know what the limits are to what qualifies as a disaster, but he says that this star could easily destroy the Earth, which is kind of like, why are you destroying the Earth to take out Neo? Have you told anybody you're going to do that? Because that's kind of drastic. I mean, I know that's probably what you have to do, but like, did you tell anybody that you had to destroy the Earth? I don't remember him saying, the Earth might be destroyed, you might all die when I fight Neo. Maybe he said something like that. I don't think he did. It seems kind of weird that he wouldn't warn everyone that that's what he's going to do. I don't know, it just seems kind of like Mitsutoshi didn't... I don't know, like, was he really planning? Like, it's like Mitsutoshi was like, oh, the Earth won't really blow up because Neo will just eat it, but it's like you still have to explain why Don would not tell everyone he's planning to do that. I don't know. Maybe he did say something, but Neo does eat it, and is it just me, or maybe it's just because Dawn Slime has a silly face, but it feels like that first panel tried to play it up for laughs, and I really feel like that's not the right way you should have handled that, personally. I mean, the next couple panels, I mean, his face looked like it had a lot more dread on it. He was starting to show a lot more fear and frustration of Neo, but just seeing Neo's face with, like, the fat cheeks eating it, and then seeing him with, like, the sweat on him, and he was like, huh, it felt like it was playing it up for comedy. Kind of a nitpick, but it just seemed like an odd choice, but not bad at all. It's not poorly inserted comedy like I've seen it towards the end of Naruto. Poorly placed comedy that I've seen in, like, Fairy Tail is nothing like that. It wasn't that bad. So, just an observation of the chapter, really. But yeah, then we get this flashback, which I didn't know was a flashback at first, because Mitsutoshi, I don't like how he does flashbacks. I think he just rounds the boxes. Instead of, like, giving them, like, a jagged, like, hard corner, he rounds them. I wish he just did it in, like, black. Like, I wish all the panel borders were black like every other fucking manga in existence. But no, he doesn't, so it's kind of weird. I didn't know if that was, like, a flashback or what the hell was going on at first. That is one of my, like, that's, like, probably, aside from not telling, excuse me, I can't talk, what else is new? Aside from not being able to tell what's happening in some panels, which is only occasionally, that's probably my biggest criticism of his artwork style, is that he doesn't do flashbacks like every other fucking manga artist. So sometimes you're like, wait, is this a flashback? And you gotta kind of look for those rounded edges. It's just weird that he does it so differently, but whatever. I think it was black for, like, the another arc, though, when it went into the big flashback. But anyways, where was I? I was talking about the panel borders. That's where I was at. That was a criticism of the chapter. But I don't know, like, and then the Ichiru talking stuff in the flashback. Ichiru is, I don't want to say he's irrelevant at this point, but he's so, like, he's dead. You know, he's so dead. I don't know what that means, but he's dead, and to just keep showing him in flashbacks or show his spirit and, like, come back with me, Ichiru, he's like, no, I don't wanna. He didn't even listen to the Dawn's warning. He just said, I don't want to come back to life, which is fine, but it's just, that was just their argument. It was like a condensed version of that previous chapter, you know, just repeating the same dialogue. But then he goes into this philosophical speech, which I liked. He asked the question, where do we come from, and talked about how we evolved through our appetite, and at least that's what I got out of it, and it was pretty cool. It's just weird that Ichiru's getting this focus now in all these random places. But it leads up to Dawn Slime asking the question, where did Neo come from? How did Neo evolve to be this thing that just fucking devours everything, even a fucking exploding supernova, which is just insane. Which is why I don't think it should have been played up for comedy. It was so overpowering and monstrous, and probably the biggest feat of strength in the entire series, or the biggest feat of eating in the entire series, bar none. Like, nothing has been anywhere close to that, so I don't know, but, the nitpick. But yeah, I mean, I don't hate this chapter at all. I think it's a really good chapter. I think Don Slime dying was done well. I mean, of course, he could have a little tiny piece of himself somewhere and he could come back or some shit, but I think that's how Don Slime worked, right? He spread himself out all over the fucking Blue Grill and shit, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, and he gathered up all his cells for this, but he could have left a couple behind. I don't know. Maybe he'll be back. Maybe he's dead for sure. Because they say when you were eaten by Neo, you're pretty much gone. And then Pear shows up. He's just like, yeah, I showed up just in case things went badly, but Acacia beat your ass, so it's cool. And he does scream in frustration when he dies, which that sucks because, that's what fucking Neo wanted the whole time, was him to scream and be scared. And even if he wasn't scared per se, and it was more frustration, he still screamed. He still did what Neo wanted. And that sucks, but it also really makes you want to see Neo get taken down, so it's still really cool in that aspect. So, yeah, but it would have been cool if Don went down not without a fight, but just, not screaming, not kicking, not giving Neo what he wanted. Excuse me. So, yeah, but seeing him actually do that is really cool because it makes you want to see Neo get beaten even more, at least for me it does. And just, I don't know how they're going to do it, though. I mean, there's going to be some major ass pulling going on if it's not done fucking perfectly because he's really fucking overpowered. And we saw Casey again talking more to Pear. And it reminds me of back in the day when, Casey would mention Pear, as a person, in the flashbacks way back. And he was talking about the Blue Nitro and how no one beats him and shit, which apparently, JIRO, and I'll get to that in a second. But, yeah, I don't know. Acacia, shady. He was buddy-buddy with some Nitros, and it's kind of weird. I don't know, maybe they'll go into that more, but maybe even way back in the day, he was already a dick. I don't know. But that's pretty much all I have to say about most of the chapter. JIRO's just one page. It was badass. We've waited way too long to see this shit, so it better be awesome next chapter. Like, I swear if Neo just shows up next chapter and beats JIRO or starts fighting him, I want to see him beating the shit out of Blue Nitro for a whole chapter, I swear. Seriously, after fucking all the waiting we had to do, I seriously want to see him do some insane fucking knocking and some insane shit. So we'll just have to wait and see. But, overall, I liked the chapter. Excuse me. I liked the chapter. It was a solid, I'd say see, because we got that big death of a character. Not like a super important to the overall series character, but a pretty important character died for the arc overall, and it was done in a really good way. So I'd probably give just that whole fight alone a solid, 8 to 9 out of 10. Thinking about the entire chapter, Ichiru, not irrelevant, but kind of really we're getting an Ichiru flashback right now, and just how he's been dead and you're not bringing him back, so it's why does his philosophy matter? Why didn't we get his philosophy before he died? I don't know. But I don't know, it's whatever. And then I'm thinking about some of the other stuff, the star, and how it's were you really just going to blow everybody up? That's kind of a dick move. He would have killed himself too, so it's not like he would have been, king shit on top or nothing, but still. Yeah, I'd give the chapter overall, I'm a little mixed on it, but overall I like it a lot. And most of my criticisms are kind of just nitpicks or just things I think Mitsutoshi didn't fully plan or whatever. Just not a big deal. Nothing a big deal at all. So I'd probably give it a solid 8 out of 10, 8.5. It's a good to great chapter of Toriko. And the philosophy was good, even if Ichiru was saying it, and I think it's kind of weird that he's saying it. It's still good, interesting philosophy for the series of Toriko. So, yeah, overall it's a pretty great chapter. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. So, thanks for watching this video. Tell me what you guys thought of this Toriko chapter in the comment section below. You can follow me on Instagram or add me on PSN. I'm petplatypus on both. You can give this video a thumbs up and share it on social media. Both of those would help me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already or if you like what you've seen here. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.